What's going on out there, guys? It is your boy Newbie coming to you live from the Newbieverse. I just wanted to give everybody a chance to check out the spec that we talked about on Sunday's show if you missed it. So sit back and enjoy. Newbie spec of the week. First book. Speaking of Winter Soldier and Falcon, there I did it again. Falcon and Winter Soldier. We got Captain America 290. What is this book? First off, I think it's a dope cover. I really like this cover. I like the negative effect it's got, with just all that black. I really do like that. So this is the first appearance of Mother Superior, who becomes Sin. A lot to take in, but who is Sin? She's the daughter of Red Skull. Possibly a character we could see. Raw copies sell anywhere between $20 and $20 apparently. That's supposed to say 20 and 60. But yeah.
I didn't even notice that until you pointed it out.
Yeah, 9.4 CGC just sold for $90 Canadian, which is pretty good.
More than 20.
For 9.4, that's not bad actually.
It's a character that I think we might see. Again, when we get into these might sees because of the show, it's going to be very interesting to see who we actually get. I mean, a lot of people were holding Mephisto. It's probably going to be one of those things where, like, every week we're going to be like, oh, no, it's this character. Or this, that's just going to happen. We saw it with Wanda, so we're going to see it with here. I think it's just going to be a little bit easier with this one because there's no magic or multi-universes and things like that.
Sin makes a lot of sense to see at some point.
Yep. And it's not a book that a lot of people were talking about when they were doing their Winter Soldier and Falcon stuff. So it's possible. Book number 2. We've got West Coast Avengers number 1. I know people are thinking, okay, well, wait a minute. West Coast Avengers 45 was the hot book. Yeah. But West Coast Avengers number 1 is obviously the first appearance of West Coast Avengers. Mm-hmm. This thing I've been talking about since the release and that we've known about the Armored War show. But I think that this one could be a sleeper. You can find this book for $1 to $5. I wouldn't pay more than $2 for a book. I've got 5 copies. I posted about it not too long ago. Yeah, they're out there. I always preach that they're out there in dollar bins and things like that. I picked mine up in Kitchener in that warehouse. But they're out. Again, you guys always hear me use that term buy-in. The buy-in is super cheap for this, that even if you're rewarded, it might be bigger. Who knows? So just keep that in mind. This one could be, I guess, stackable just because of the fact that, like, if you wanted to get 20 copies and they're like $1 or $2, I mean, you're not, in the grand scheme of things, who knows? It is a tough cover. Again, though, like I will say, it is a white cover, so it is tough to get in super high grade. I know that when I went, the guy had like 40 of them, and I went through all of them, and I really could only find like 5 of them that were like super high grade. So, just keep that on the lookout. That's all.
I totally agree. It's almost like I can't seem to run away from this book. This book always seems to pop up wherever I go in any LCS shop. So it's, supply is definitely not low in this book. You can easily find this.
I think the key is getting it in super high grade, just because of everywhere you can find it, right? So, like, that they're out there. You just got to find the really good and high grade ones. That's all.
If they ever do something with West Coast Avengers, yeah, you could see it.
Number 3, Young Avengers number 5. Again, is it the greatest cover? No. White, very hard to get in high grade, but let's look at what the importance is here. First team appearance of the Young Avengers. Who's in that team? Well, we got Kate Bishop, Wiccan, Hulking, Kid Loki, America Chavez, and Noir. I'm also looking, like, the reasons that this one kind of spoke to me were just because of the team members in the team, right?
Right.
So Kate Bishop, we know is coming. Wiccan, Hulking, I think are coming. I think that they could capitalize on those 2 characters. Kid Loki, I think we'll see in the Loki show. America Chavez, we already know America Chavez is coming. And then Marvel Boy himself, I think that's going to be something huge. I haven't talked about it on a big scale or on any of my shows in the past, but I do believe in Marvel Boy as well, but it's for the most part a ghost unless you're buying the whole set. So a lot of things on eBay have it as like 1 to 5 or something like that. Like you hardly see this book alone. Even if you buy super low right now, who's to say that the reward isn't big?
Yeah, this would be something that you could probably find not so much online, like you said, in those eBay sites, but it might be something that you might want to start. You could probably find in those LCSs that have like a large back catalog of back issues.
Yeah.
That's where you might be able to find this, because I don't think shops are going to be pricing this like at like 50. They're probably going to put this at cover price and sticking this in their long box.
100%. I still don't see people like getting the proper Young Avenger books, and I think that that's something that later on people are going to pay for, because this is a perfect example of a book that I think people should be on the lookout for and might actually pay extra down the road, when realistically you can get it right now. A lot of people are just hung up on number 1, number 7, I think it is, number 9, like just
first. I think the first Wiccan, not first Wiccan. What's a speedster's name? Speed. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I mixed.
Wiccan is the magic user, like Scarlet Witch. Speed is sort of like Quicksilver.
Next book on Newbie Spec is sticking with Young Avengers, but we got Young Avengers 14. What the hell is this? Well, this is the origin of America Chavez. And we know what happens when people can't afford the first appearance. People usually go into origins or things like that. So that's why I said, if you can't grab Vengeance 1, what are you going to grab? This might be a really good book. This is an undervalued book. I couldn't get any pricing on this one. I couldn't find it on eBay. I think people are sleeping on Doctor Strange.
With this one though, there is a little problem with it right now. In one of Newbie's later picks, America #1, the new series, it looks like they're actually retconning her origin. So yeah, it looks like they're doing some kind of take where it looks like they're doing some stuff with her backstory with her family and everything like that. So there might be some retcons coming in this new series.
But again, let's face it, we've all made terrible purchases. I don't think that even at $6 Canadian, this is a bad buy. Next book. It all begins here, number 0. I will repeat, it all begins here, number 0. So this is the first cameo of the Ultimates. You guys know the Ultimates. They showed up in WandaVision. Everybody was specking on it, and it happened, right? We got everybody. We got Blue Marvel, America Chavez, Spectrum, Captain Marvel. No, that didn't happen. It was a spec that a lot of people were talking about. I mean, it's so interesting to me. Mephisto and Blue Marvel, the two characters that everybody was talking about since like episode 2 of that show till the end, people were like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And it just never happened. And it's funny because like before the show ended, you could still find some like minor keys or some minor covers of Blue Marvel. And they were going for like $20. The day after that last episode, they were like nothing. And nobody wanted anything to do with them. But again, look at the characters in this team. And I say this because you have to kind of look. There's so many team ups and characters that just join together on these random teams for short period or long period. But take a look at that team. Blue Marvel, America Chavez, Spectrum, and Captain Marvel. Well, Captain Marvel's still around. Connections to Spectrum, who has connections to Blue Marvel. And America Chavez we're getting. So it doesn't necessarily all have to connect comic-wise, but if we get them in, the movies, who knows? That's an interesting cover too. I personally, I didn't know about this cover until like maybe 10 days ago. So I've never really been actively looking at it. When I go to back issues or these warehouses and stuff, and I'm going through books, I already know in my head, like I've got like 40 books in my head that like I'm going through and I could just pass through because I know what the covers look like.
Yeah.
This one I might have passed through. I just don't know. It's just recently come into the memory bank. Now I know what it looks like, so now I'll be on the lookout for it.
Definitely a good issue to have in your collection. It's tough to say what they're going to do as far as that direction goes in anything as live action. I mean, yeah, we do have Captain Marvel obviously still around and Spectrum still around. America Chavez we know is coming. It seems like they might be angling more towards the Young Avengers.
I can't see this book being in a shop for more than $8 to $10 Canadian.
Yeah, it's probably pretty cheap.
At that buy-in, I'm still willing to bet on it and put it away. The next book, well, we got the cameo of the Ultimates, so the next book should be the Ultimates #1. So we got the first appearance of the Ultimates. We could see them as they were not brought into WandaVision. Raw copies were selling anywhere between $10 and $30. I could see this book dropping a little bit, to be honest with you, to get it into that $10 to $15 range, just because they didn't show up, and now everybody's going to be on kind of Winter Soldier. So that kind of happens in the community, and a lot of people who are holding books, right? They're kind of going on to the next thing. So maybe sell. So I could totally see this book kind of dropping in price. You could probably pick it up. Me personally, I don't think that that's a bad book to hold on to, though. Like for future stuff,
No.
I would not be against holding this book.
It's one of those cases like what have you got to lose kind of situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've only got one, so I'm not looking to get rid of it or anything. But yeah, there's definitely some potential there. It's an interesting team that they could do something with. They had really good, some really good story arcs in the comics, and I could see those being edited.
Final book of this week for the Newbie Spec Show is Alpha Flight 33. Wow, you probably weren't expecting that. Alpha Flight 33 is the first appearance of Lady Deathstrike. You guys have heard me say that I believe that they're going to probably redo, as much as people don't want to hear it. I really do think that they're going to go through step 1 and show us another Wolverine's origin, where we could probably see Lady Deathstrike. Raw copies sell anywhere between $1 and $20 Canadian. It's not a terrible buy-in in the sense that you can find this book anywhere. Like I found 3 copies. I've already flipped them because they were just kind of too low grade, but I've already flipped 3 copies. They are out there.
They definitely could revisit that character once again, because like Faye said, she definitely was misused compared to how she is in the comics.
It's a nice issue to have again. First appearance of Lady Deathstrike. It's not old, super old, but it's not the newest thing in the world either.
And Sam is saying a 9.8 is selling on eBay for 200. Let's call it 225 Canadian. Is this going to be a $2,000 book? I don't think so. But even if you bought a 9.8 at 225, could it reach $400 or $500? I could see it. I really could. You guys always hear me talking the low buy-in. It's a buy-in that's really good right now for this
Where
book.
you kind of set yourself apart from other collectors who hold a copy is the grade of the books. Right, so.
Yeah. All right, guys, that is it for the Spec. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, keep searching because those books are out there.